And then someone came over to me that had been doing the custom thing for like 20 years and just started giving me like gym after gym after gym. It was just like,
Wow.
and it was like one of those situations where I was like, wow, that is why I was sent here. It wasn't for like the financial gain. It was for this like invaluable information.
Hey everybody, this is Amber Key, and you're listening to a Bright Idea podcast, a show that sits down with entrepreneurs to hear about the aha moment that launched their businesses. On today's episode, we're joined by Burrell Brown, owner of StreetSmart Tailoring, a mobile tailoring company based in Washington, D.C. Burrell is a data scientist by day and a tailor at all other times. Perfecting his tailoring skills with the help of YouTube, Burrell has found so much joy, fulfillment, and purpose through connecting with his clients and helping people feel confident in how they look.
I guess like the creative side of me, like I would say definitely came from my sister. Because it was always like finessing things, honestly, like making cutoff shirts or whatever, like that type of thing. Um, I learned how to sew in like middle school. I don't know if your school had the resources to have like a life skills course or something. Mine did, which was awesome. So we learned how to sew and how to cook. So that's where I learned like the basics, but that was, so long ago. So then I went to North Carolina Central for undergrad. So go Eagles. Um, and then I moved to DC 8 years ago for grad school. I went to Marymount and I did forensic and legal psychology because once upon a time I thought I was going to be a forensic psychologist.
Uh-huh.
So I was all in on that career. And then I basically met some actual forensic psychologists and decided, yeah, this isn't for me.
What is
Uh,
forensic psychology? Like what sort of job would you have had if
yeah.
you
So,
considered
I
that?
mean, yeah. Basically, I would say like I got caught into the like the CSI effect of like
Okay.
watching TV shows and thinking I was going to be that person. But basically, a day to day is more like doing like assessments for like child custody cases, and just like general evaluation and assessment testing.
Mm-hmm.
But the glorified version is you're like an expert witness in like criminal cases. So that's what I thought was like the day to day, but obviously that's not the reality. Um, so finish grad school and then decided to pivot and basically got into data analysis, and then I've kind of just like got certs, basically almost everything through like YouTube. Um, and now I do data science. And then
Okay.
pretty much when I was in grad school, I worked at a law firm and I had a lot of extra time. So that's when I started. I begged for like a sewing machine because I refused to buy one myself. And my mother-in-law was sweet enough to get me one for Christmas one year. So I got the sewing machine, watched a bunch of YouTube videos. I used to thrift quite a bit, so I would thrift and
Yeah.
then practice on my clothes that I would thrift. Um, and yeah, just like I wanted like a tailored fit for myself. I wanted like that urban DC, like, good looking suit fit.
Totally.
So yeah, so that's like literally how I started sewing, watching YouTube, trial and error. Um, and then kind of, I think at that time, like, of course, Uber was big. This is like 2018, 2018, 2019. So Uber's big, of course, Airbnb's big. But I had just heard about like, what is it called? Instacart. Is it Instacart? Yeah, where they deliver groceries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, whoa, this is wild. Like, um, and at the time, a lot of those like platforms were considered like the sharing economy.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of things were going towards like sharing and convenience, and just like people were more and more starting to pay for convenience, which, we still, of course, see now. So I was like, huh, I wonder if anyone's doing like a mobile tailor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked it up and I was like, wow, no one does that. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So then I like thought of the idea, and um, I started like basically asking my friends if I could like tailor their clothes so I could like have models. So I started the Instagram page, started just posting like before and afters, and then it's like slowly transitioned into like what it is now.
were you like making your own clothes in middle school or in high school, or it was just sort of like a skill that you had on the back burner while you were trying to become a forensic psychologist?
I don't even know if I would consider it a skill, because at the time it was like we learned how to like make a pillow.
Okay.
So that was like the extent of it. I never touched a sewing machine after that until what I guess this was roughly I don't know, like 10 years or 10 to 12 years later,
Yeah.
when I moved to DC. And then that's when I was like, oh, let me get a sewing machine, because one, I was like, I can't afford to get everything altered. I got some stuff tailored. I wasn't that pleased with it. Just because of my body type, I was like, I wanted my things to fit a certain way, and what the result was it what I wanted? So I was like, I think I can do this myself, and I had the time. So that's when I dove into it and gave it a try. But no, I even like high school and stuff, college, I wasn't like making clothes. There was probably at one point in college, probably only like two of my close friends would remember this, but I was like, I'm gonna start a clothing brand. It's gonna be called like Locket. If someone watches this, they're gonna roast me for this, but I gotta share it. Like,
what was it going to entail? It was going to be called Locket?
Literally, I just like no, at the time I was like, again, this is back to like the finesse thing. I like bought like some faux leather from like Walmart, and I was just like using the iron tape, and I was like ironing on leather pockets onto like shirts.
Okay.
So that was my thing. Like I was gonna take like some regular clothes and just like put a leather pocket on it, just call it Locket, and that was gonna be my thing. It didn't go anywhere. I didn't even try to make it go anywhere because like I got clowned for it. So I was like, all right, all right, let's leave this alone. But yeah, I mean, like I guess like consistently, I would probably say that it was there's been like a trend of like me like attempting to be somewhat creative or thrifty, or trying to finesse things, and then it kind of just turned into me trying to see if I can make some money off of finessing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, that's interesting. So fast forward. Now you said you're a data analyst or a data scientist?
Data scientist, yeah.
Data scientist, which sounds so different from like somebody working in clothes. So yeah. So like, tell me about what you do on a day-to-day in your current job, and like, what did you find was like a need that kind of like led you into tailoring?
Yeah. So my day-to-day, I like full day-to-day, wake up 4:30.
No, like so I'm a marketing producer, so I live in Premiere all day. Like I'm an editor, so I don't even know like what a data scientist does. So gotcha, give me an idea.
Gotcha. So yeah, at work, I'm pretty much just like, I guess the easiest way to say it is I'm just like trying to create mainly machine learning tools, like advanced analytic tools. So like, for example, like you go on a website, even Zoom right now on the bottom right, you see there's a chat bot. So like that's something I created at work, or tools like that where I can take something simple and try to automate things and just enhance analytics. So that's like a broad way to say it. But yeah, so if you know anything about data analysis, so like take that, but then add like more technology to it and coding. So I code and program in Python.
And so are you automating things to make it easier for the user?
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yep.
Okay. I can kind of see now how tailoring, especially like a mobile tailoring business, could, like, you're making people's lives easier. They don't have to go to like an alterations place.
I've never really processed it like that, but yeah, 100%. Yeah, same thing, where I'm just trying to simplify things for whoever my end user is.
Yeah.
Make their life easier. 100%.
So tell me what the aha moment was that like you're like, okay, this is going to be my business and I'm going to run with it.
I don't know if there was a moment. I think for me, and even from the beginning, because I used to like, my wife will get on me for this, but I used to like, I would do a lot of free work for people. And because like I mean, thankfully at the time, I was working at Orange Theory at the time too, so I was like just hustling.
Yeah.
So when I first started, yeah, it definitely wasn't about the money. And I guess you can consider it a passion, but even more than the passion, it was like the impact was what I cared about. Cause like doing some alterations for like a couple people and to see like shock on their face or just how happy or like the transformation. Cause even in the beginning, I was doing like, I was focused, at least on Instagram, I was focused on like drama. I'm like, I want to make this as dramatic as possible so people can be like, oh my gosh, that was 6 sizes too big and you made it like fit. So like
Yeah.
that was my focus because I was like, I did and I still like definitely feel like a lot of purpose through this. So it's fulfilling for me. So I would say like I don't know, I guess that's like the continuous aha moment because I like it the impact. I really care about that. I had like this was the end of last year where I was like sending an invoice and I was like, oh, I just hit 1,000 invoices. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, and then I like went through and did like a distinct count of how many like individual clients I had. And I was like, whoa, it's been over 500. Like, it's crazy. I think now I'm probably over 1,000 individual clients that I've worked with. So I mean, like that to me is like the aha moment. Like, wow, I've like, obviously DC's big, and I've probably only touched like 1%, but still, like the fact that I've like impacted all these lives, that's what really like is the big thing and like really important to me.
Who was your first client? Like your first paying client?
I was like paid client.
Like paid client. Like once your wife got on you enough, and you're like, okay, it's time to start making some money.
Yeah,
like who was that?
It was one of my friends, and even then, like I think I probably did like, let's say like I don't know, 10 shirts for him or something. I might have charged him like $30 or something. I was like $5 a shirt or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of my friends that I basically like convinced to like let me tailor stuff for them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how did you grow your book of business?
Yeah, because I have no business background, no sales, anything like that. Honestly, in the beginning, it was definitely just word of mouth. It was like people would tell people. Of course, I tried Instagram stuff, but there's only so much reach in that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was honestly just like pretty, like very organic. Really just word of mouth. I've never really done like many events or anything like that, or really like that kind of promotion stuff. Last year, I ran ads for a little bit, and that definitely helped on the like visibility.
Mhm.
Not to go down the rabbit hole of like discussing challenges in business, but me not having a location has always been challenging and still is.
Yeah. No, please go down the rabbit hole of challenges.
Someone schedules their fitting. Myself or I don't think I mentioned this yet, but I have a team now, so it's 5 of us total. Myself or one of my team members comes to your home or wherever you choose as the location. Sometimes I meet people at their office or something like that. So I meet you at your desired location, take measurements, which roughly takes like 15 minutes, and then take the pieces with me. We tailor the clothes. Our standard turnaround's like it's a week, but that of course varies depending on the number of product or pieces, excuse me. And then we return it to you like in a garment bag and steam and everything. So it's real simple process, like on average a week turnaround. But yeah, so it's obviously focusing on convenience, but also really big on the quality and still being personable.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
said one of the challenges was that you don't have a location.
Oh, the location. Yeah.
So bringing people's garments, I mean, are you like altering people's garments at home with your team?
I don't want to turn the camera right now, but I am at my desk and my machine's right by, and I have like a stack of clothes. But I do at this point because volume has gotten to a solid level, which I'm grateful for. I do outsource quite a bit now because I can't do everything anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically at this point, team members after they finish for the day, like earlier today, one of my team members dropped off pieces from her. She had, I think, 4 fittings today, and dropped those off to me, and then I'll do the execution part, and then I deliver it to the client.
Yeah. So how long have you been in business?
This is year 4. Yep.
Year 4. Wow.
Yeah.
So you were in business prior to the pandemic.
Yeah. And honestly, like before then, it was probably pretty slow. COVID, of course, was extremely slow, and I
Yeah.
transitioned to mask at that time. I had some mask in some stores around DC, which was a cool thing to see that. But yeah, like, 2020, not even 2021, 2022 was probably the first year where, things started picking up. And then this year, 2023, definitely was, by far has been, of course, my biggest year. But I think a lot of that has to do with, like, people traveling again and people going to weddings again and just,
Right.
activities again. So, yeah.
Yeah. Where would you say most of your business comes from? DC is such a like corporate place. Like everyone's like, I feel like everyone's in a suit or like works in some government type of job. But
Yeah.
But I also see
Honestly,
you work with weddings as well.
yeah. Honestly, you would think that, yeah, maybe it's all just like work clothes for people, but yeah, definitely probably more than anything. I probably do like 1 to 2 bridesmaid dresses a week. So a lot of that. Um, I do of course have clients that just have like general clothes that they want tailored, like let's say jeans, like the
Mhm.
waist taken in or something like that. I don't necessarily have like a general client that's like, in this court, like this work group or that work group. It's definitely a really diverse mix, but yeah, I probably would say I do like wedding and event stuff. Maybe like 60/40, like maybe
Yeah.
wedding stuff like 60% and then 40% like other clothing as well.
Awesome. And then like, are you just altering people's clothes that might be ill-fitted, or do you have any like creative liberties that you get any opportunities for with people's clothing?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I have clients that like they're like super creative and want to do like fun projects, so that's always fun to do.
Yeah.
I guess quite a bit like as far as like the average creative thing that I do for clients is it's like relocating fabric. So think of like if something's too tight,
Yeah.
let's say a dress, for example, something it's too tight in the waist, but it's too long or something. I can take the fabric from the bottom and let out the waist or something like that. So I do that quite a bit. But other than that, like yeah, people have fun ideas that they want to bring to life. Some people just give me fabric and say create this. I of course do the custom as well, the custom suiting and trousers and jackets and shirts and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so definitely get some creativity out, and I love to pick people's brains and kind of see their thoughts on making pieces. But yeah, definitely a lot of room for just kind of freestyle.
Where do you shop for your own clothing? And like, where do you kind of find your inspiration for your own outfits?
Yeah, I don't have like a one specific place. I'm definitely one of those people that like if I'm about to go on a trip, that I like buy some stuff and have like some stuff in mind. Like this
Yeah.
shirt, this was a sweater, and I was like, oh, I really like this, but I would like it if it was short sleeve. So I like cut the sleeves off
I
and
love
like
that.
took it in some.
Yeah.
Because I'm really into knitwear. I used to shop a lot on Poshmark in general.
Mhm.
So I mean, I still thrift quite a bit. Um, Lately for like just simple knitwear like shirts, I've definitely got back into the Zara thing. Um, but no, there aren't really like specific brands that I shop a whole lot, especially now since I started doing custom like roughly a year and a half ago. So like pants wise, I only wear like my own stuff.
Yeah.
But shirts wise, if I'm just looking for like simple knitwear, like yeah, it could be anywhere. It could be thrifted. It could be Massimo Dutti. It could be bunch of different brands, just whatever I like. Yeah, I'm not like a brand head or anything like that.
Just honing in a little bit on like the business aspect, and because people that are listening to this may have an idea in their head, but they're not sure how to execute it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we think about owning a business, a lot of people are doing this as a side hustle, like you are, but have dreams of making this their main thing. Is this ever going to be a main thing, or do you think you'll keep it on the side?
Yeah, I don't know. I used to be that person that was like, no, I would never want this to be my full time. I like the balance. I like my full time, of course. But I mean, honestly, that's speaking from a place of fear, and I'm just talking because I'm like my full time is my stability, and this is my like fun. But of course, it has picked up to be like, a little more than just fun and a side gig. But I'm really at this point. I am in the phase where I'm like trying to scale and trying to really see where I can take this. Actually, or later this month, I plan on like going to New York and trying to vet some tailors. I know they have another service there that does the same thing, but I'm like, let's give it a shot. I'm in a definitely faith driven, and I'm in a Bible study group with two of my brothers, and definitely at this point where I have this like almost delusion where I feel like I genuinely cannot fail.
Mm.
And because of that, I think I'm definitely more inclined to take risks because I just see everything as like a learning and growth opportunity.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, this is definitely because I definitely used to be that person that everything was out of fear, as far as like my thoughts and like scarcity and thinking of lack. And like honestly, that's probably why I started this because I'm like I can't afford to pay for alterations. So, I'll like try to figure it out myself. So, but definitely now I'm like slowly but transitioning into like thinking abundantly and thinking like how it can impact even more people and how I can scale this and like where I can really take it. So yeah, I'm gonna try it all. We'll see what happens. Like who knows? Yeah, maybe it does become a full-time thing. I had an interview earlier today with are you familiar with Handshake? Like the app Handshake?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I just got on Handshake like last week. So I had an interview with a student trying to see if she's interested. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna try to scale and see where I can take it. And who knows? Yeah, I think it's part of like I don't want to speak it and then like something not happen. But yeah, I'm just gonna see where it goes. And really try to grow it and see what I can do with it.
No, I love that. And I like that earlier you said that you are kind of in this mindset that like you cannot fail. And I think that that's like you I feel like delusion is like a buzzword that we're all thinking right now.
Sure.
But I do think that in some ways it's really healthy to like keep your
100%.
mind on that track. And I love that you're also strong in your faith too. Like
Yeah,
I guess
100%.
how yeah, like what motivates you and like what keeps you going. And also you said you used to be somebody that like lived in fear. Like how did you overcome that?
I don't know that it's done, but it's
It's a work in
it's
progress.
yeah,
Yeah.
100% ongoing
I love that.
process. Yeah, a mindset switch is like super interesting because it genuinely is like a daily thing. Like I still catch myself all the time. I see your cat. I still catch myself all the time, like even like the smallest things. Like let's say like I'm like cutting fabric because I don't want to waste fabric.
Mm.
But now I'm like, no, let me like use this fabric up and then like, I'm putting the work in. So definitely believe in like universal things too, that I believe that, of course, what I'm putting in, I'll receive back. But yeah, I've just been thinking more of like, I go back to the word abundance, but just thinking of that word of like, if I like obediently follow, then I'll naturally receive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that cycle happens when you're also naturally giving. So I definitely see this as part of my role of me giving out, and then of course receiving back. Maybe not in terms of financial gain. Maybe it's information. Maybe it's lessons. um, I had an interesting experience with that recently. I went to like a conference in Miami through one of my clients that had introduced me, and it was a really awesome experience. And of course, this is kind of sidetracked, but of course, I definitely 100% thought I was going there for financial gain. I'm like, I'm going to hit my goals, my sales goals. This is going to be great. I'm going to make a lot of relationships. And honestly, it didn't go that way. Um, and there was like 30 minutes left. I was packing up, taking all my jackets off, um, taking down the mannequins and everything. And then someone came over to me that had been doing the custom thing for like 20 years and just started giving me like gym after gym after gym. It was just like
Wow.
and it was like one of those situations where I was like, wow, that is why I was sent here. You know, it wasn't for like the financial gain, it was for this like invaluable information. So definitely lately, even through the tailoring, like there was definitely a time where me thinking if I have to grow this, I have to grow this, I became like transactional. And I would say that was part of like the fear. But now I've like slowly kind of transitioned into like trying to focus on being more relational, um, and focus on relationships. And that's definitely led to um, a lot greater things and just like greater focus. But yeah, so it's definitely a journey. Um, of like going from this fear mindset to like thinking of growth and abundance. So it's
Yeah.
an ongoing transition.
I mean, you've been in this for 4 years, and you also said that you looked at 1,000 invoices. And so sometimes when we think about business, especially when we think about side hustles, in this current day where we all need to make money, the first thing
Yeah,
on our mind is always like the financial gain. But I think that businesses continue to be successful when there's like something else at hand. Like for
yeah,
you, like you're talking a lot about um, the lessons that you're learning from your clients and that in the people that you meet. And
yeah,
so I feel like that's a huge driver as well. Would you say the same?
yeah. No, 100%, 100%. But there's been so much more growth when I started focusing on that than just focusing on these individual transactions and like seeing things as opportunities as opposed to seeing things for specifically learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does scaling StreetSmart Tailoring look like for you?
Um, so definitely like uh and again, this is like back to the fear thing of like thinking of how I can get more things out of my hands. Because again, I think I mentioned kind of the process. There's still at this point, and working through this too, where it's like, when I go out of town, it's kind of on pause. Um, so I'm trying to get to the point where it's going while I'm at work, and it's which it has been for like a couple weeks now. Like, you know, I, that was a huge thing of like opening my schedule for daytime fittings because I'm like, no one's gonna schedule during the day, like everyone's at work. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, people work from home now. So that's been like incredible to see, like, fittings like going on while I'm at work. So that's been awesome. Um, and so, yeah, it's just like taking these, I don't want to necessarily say like small steps, but taking these steps of like, you know, doing this step and then that step, and then like um, slowly like letting go, honestly, because it's been a control thing for me, right? Because I felt like I've put a lot of time and energy and passion into this, and like if I don't have my hands in it, then someone could write a bad review or something could do like that.
Right.
So it's slowly like honestly letting go of control, and because I'm not gonna grow if I just keep trying to control everything.
So what's next for the business? Like, you're working on anything exciting right now currently that listeners can be excited for?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm always doing fun projects. I'm definitely trying to like intentionally tap into like different markets. Definitely trying to tap into more of the pro sports market. I think, and I randomly thought of this the other night, but um, I think like I used to often think that like the dream, you'd hear people say like the dream is a journey or something like that. But like
Yeah.
there's been like, because I think I mentioned I only work Wednesdays, and I try to like cram everything I need to do into Wednesdays, like that's fittings and drop offs and stuff. So, I have some late nights. Like last night, I got home roughly around like 11:30, and then I get home and I need to like send out invoices, and I need to like talk to my manufacturer, and um, kind of other like logistics and like admin things. But then like slowly I've realized I'm like, no, I don't think the dream is actually the journey. It's literally the work, because it's like the work that you're putting in. And I also, when I'm of course driving late night and it's like not as many cars on the road, that's when I'm of course in my head. And yeah, I feel like it's genuinely just like this journey, this StreetSmart journey, it's like literally just the time and the work put in. That's been like the dream because I hear like artists talk about it, but I definitely still like look back and I'm like reminiscing on the times where yeah, I was staying up until 2 a.m. and then going to the gym at 4:30, staying up sewing and like how like physically draining that was, but how much I loved it because I
Yeah.
was like I felt the impact, you know, and it was like purpose behind it.
So this is the fun part. This is rapid fire. So just say whatever comes to your mind.
I feel like you're about to ask me something wild.
No, I'm not. Wait, I feel like now I should have like actually thought more about these questions and asked you something. Let's see. Maybe I'll think of something off the top of my dome. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the most challenging fabric to sew?
Yeah, easily I probably say denim, especially like thicker denim because I break so many needles. Yeah.
Okay. Do a lot of people still wear like real denim? You know, like fast fashion is a big thing. So like the stretchy
100%.
denim is like a thing.
Yeah, and even not even like outside of like fast fashion. I mean, you have like solid brands. I don't know if you're familiar with like Page or like those type of brands that I mean, almost every brand now puts like some form of elastic in their jeans. Like even the Levi's and you know the Wranglers or whatever. Yeah, definitely not as much of like the tough like hard denim anymore. I would say like a couple years ago, 100%, but now, yeah, definitely not as much.
What's a song that you've had on repeat? Please tell me you listen to music.
Yeah, 100%. But I listen to so many. Like I have a playlist, and sometimes I'll just like let it flow. I guess lately, that I've been listening to a lot. Probably this song. Do you know Kari? It's called 3 a.m.
No. What's the genre?
R&B. I'm a big R&B head. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like favorite genre is your go-to genre, like R&B.
100%.
I'm a huge R&B girl too. I've recently gotten into like Afro beats though lately.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really crossed into that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my Here we go. This is Basil. He joins every episode.
Oh yeah, nice.
There you go. Can you get down? Love that. Cool. Dream client.
The client that's going to lead me to a bigger client.
I really like interviewing you because you say just enough that like that it leaves me guessing, and I'm like, am I not asking the right questions? But like you're a good interviewer.
I just got to say like broad stuff so that it keeps the conversation going. You know?
Yeah, so people like keep coming back for more. Like they're like, he's gonna give us just enough.
Sure.
I noticed on your Instagram that you travel. You like to travel. Yeah. What's like been your favorite place?
That's easy. Definitely Morocco, Marrakesh. And I would say I meant you just brought up a point. Yeah, I probably get a lot of my fashion inspiration from traveling. Yeah,
okay.
I like see different things, places I go, and different cultures. And I'm like, ooh, I really like that. I want to incorporate that. So yeah, but by far Morocco, Marrakesh. I'm like a very spiritual person, so I enjoy places that I'm all about like feeling.
Oh yeah.
Like Marrakesh by far was the first place I ever went where I was like, whoa, like I can feel this place. And it's a different religion than the religion that I practice, but just seeing like the devotion and the discipline there was like really impactful. So yeah, by far there. And honestly, if I'm being honest, like, you know, most places I travel and potentially most places a lot of people travel, depending on where you are, you know, you're most likely still the minority.
Yeah.
But probably Marrakesh was the first place I ever went where I was like, whoa, everyone here like looks like me. Like, you know, maybe different hair, but like complexion was like pretty much the same. And I was like, whoa, this is wild. Like I'm usually going to like Europe or Mexico or something like that, or wherever it is, you know, and I'm still like a minority. But this was the first place where I like genuinely felt like everyone else, honestly.
Yeah. It's a comforting feeling when you can go somewhere and you see people that look like you. If you could write a book, what would it be about?
I'm actually like writing one. And as of right now, I haven't locked down the title, but it's like basically all about like perspective. Because I feel like through my travels and just through like, like I'm interacting with people all the time. I'm going to people's homes. I see like so many different things. So yeah, it's just like a book on perspectives. So that's what I'm writing. As of right now, it's called 30 Years of Perspective. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So
when
that,
can we expect that?
I don't necessarily have like a timeline. Um, I told myself I'd probably try to finish writing by the end of the year. And basically all I do is I just kind of write down thoughts every day. Um, but yeah, so maybe sometime early 2024. And this is one of those things too, where it's probably speaking from like a fear perspective, but I didn't necessarily have plans to like try to push it or try to like sell it. I just want to like give it to some friends. And of course I'll post it on my story and stuff, but who knows? I might really try to like see where that goes too. So we'll see.
That's cool. Who's your biggest inspiration?
I don't know that it's one person. I have like a group of people, yeah, around me. And I think it's cool that that group has it's people that aren't even like physically around me. They might be in another city or something like that. But yeah, and I'd probably say back to like, of course, family, like my wife and the Bible study group I mentioned that I'm in, and just like my close brothers who are like my groomsmen. So yeah, it's more of like a group. It's not like a person, an individual person.
What is it about those people that like inspires you?
Yeah, probably their different journeys. Of course, like the relationship we've like built and sustained. But I try to surround myself, of course, around like-minded people, like most people do, which can be, of course, healthy and unhealthy. But I have like a core group of people around me. Most of the people around me are like entrepreneurs in some kind of sense. So it's awesome to see other people like honestly like going after things. I really love seeing that.
Yeah.
People that are like taking risks and trying things because I just feel like environment is just so powerful. And on top of that, just like exposure, the fact that I'm like exposed and I can like reach out and these people are like what would you call it, like not reachable, but like I have access to these people.
Yeah.
So I think that's what inspires me, like seeing their journey. And it doesn't even have to be like huge feats, but just like seeing the people that I cherish like overcoming or going through things. So yeah, that's really what inspires me, like different journeys. Yeah.
So you're a really busy guy. You have a full-time job and you have this job.
Yeah.
What do you do for self-care?
I did want to mention so my wife and I started a dog harness business. I'll have to drop that right here in the top right.
Yeah, we'll drop it right there in the link. Oh my God, that's awesome. Well, yeah. What about like dog harnesses? Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you have a dog?
Yeah, I have 2 dogs. Yep.
Oh, cool.
So it's their company. We're trying to do like the 4 dogs by dogs type thing.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure Fubu might come after us, but
no, there's also like big money in that. Like these pets live rent free. It's time for them to make some money for us on the Instagram.
100%. So I mean, we launched like 2 months ago, but this is another thing where like I genuinely feel like we can't fail. There's only growth in it. So we're trying it, seeing where it goes. But of course, we're putting a lot of time and effort into that. But sorry, back to your question, self-care. Yeah,
I was gonna say you make harnesses for self-care. I love it.
No, honestly, I work a lot. But honestly, so my wife and I have like a routine where it's like grind, and then every quarter we try to take a trip. So that's really my like self-care because it's like I'm able to do like a hard reset. Of course I go to the gym 5 days a week, before I go to work in the morning, 4:30. But yeah, other than that, I've become more intentional about like trying to meditate every day, even if it's for 2 minutes. Or just being more intentional. That's really my like self-care, my travel and my just being more intentional about myself. I think that's of course happened the older I get, where I'm like, okay, this is changing, that's changing. I can't just like hope for things. I have to ask for things.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I've talked to a lot of people on this podcast about their self-care, and a lot of people say meditation. And that's something I'm trying to get into. I cannot silence my brain. I move at like lightning speed. So it's definitely something
Same.
that I'm trying to work on.
Same. And don't like definitely don't take me for like some expert. I am absolutely no expert. I just like, honestly, what I do is I just pray, and then I request for like, at least a minute of just silence the noise, and then it's usually effective for me.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so at StreetSmart Tailoring on Instagram, StreetSmartTailoring.com, at Shop Marlio. That's the dog business.
Love
It'll
it.
be right here.
We will. We'll add it. I promise I will.
Oh, you can do that?
Awesome.
I'm just pointing places out.
No, I will. If you send me like a logo, I will put it in the episode.
All right, perfect. Yeah. And then my personal at Burrell Brown. That used to be something I would like try to keep private, but no, it's public now. So yeah, not hiding anymore.
Yay! Awesome. This was great. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Amber. It was awesome.
Thank you, Burrell. That's it for this week's episode of A Bright Idea. Tune in each week as we interview entrepreneurs to find out their aha moment that launched their businesses. Today's episode featured Burrell Brown, owner of StreetSmart Tailoring. You can support StreetSmart Tailoring by booking one of their services on their website, StreetSmartTailoring.com, or by following them on social media at StreetSmart Tailoring. As mentioned in the episode, Burrell and his wife recently launched a dog harness company called Marlio, which you can support by following Marlio on Instagram. We're building a community on A Bright Idea, so follow them on social media, give them a review, and tell all of your friends. Until next week, I'm Amber Key.